Hi, this is Peter Godinez with your ambassador from KDTV, and we have a new version here, but it's our first but the best here. Meet the Veteran. Kind of has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And I have in my presence, and again, there's so many different names. Her actual name is Mary Payne, but she so dubbed herself when she was a Marine, Tippy, which makes it easy for me. So we can call her Sergeant Payne, Tippy. I mean, I'm loving it, but Tippy, thank you so much for being on the show here.
Well, I'm delighted that you asked.
Well, you know, I saw your first presentation at the Veterans. You had the hat on. You know, I thought you were for sure lying about your age, so we won't even go into that, that's for sure. But you have an interesting story, and it begins once upon a time, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Now, the most exciting thing I think our audience would be interested in is you made a decision very early in life to be a Marine.
Yes.
Now, tell us how that began, because obviously you were, it looks like you're maybe 40 something, but you went back in time, and this was back in the days when it wasn't real appropriate for a woman to be a Marine, let alone a soldier, you know. Talk to us.
Well, I was in the first Marines, women Marines, to go to boot camp. We didn't have a boot camp, and so we went to a Navy boot camp at Hunter College in New York. And they didn't like too much their area invaded by Marines. So in the chow line, you hold your plate like this, and the food didn't come like this, it went like this. So you wore your food a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
You look good in hash browns, is what they say. Wow. And so this all took place in what geography of the United States?
In New York, Hunter College.
Okay, and then all of a sudden did you see something? Did a vision come to your head that says, you know what? I'm not sure what a Marine is, but I want to become a Marine. What happened? This is fascinating.
You remember the Sullivan Brothers. And
Sullivan Brothers.
Yeah, and that made me angry.
It made you. That was the second time that made you angry. So you know, that was two. We're gonna keep track of this. But that made you mad. So
yes. So I joined, and I went and told my sister, who was married to a sailor, and I said, I just joined the Marines. Why did you do that? You wait till Mama hears this. You call Mama. So I called Mama, and she said, Mary dear, why did you do that? And I said, because Mama, I want to help. But you wait till your father hears this. Thank goodness they were in the Los Angeles area, and I was in San Francisco.
Long distance protection agency, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I was just gonna say, this is not like your typical. You called her up and said, "Mom, I'm gonna marry Ricky Ricardo. He doesn't speak English. He's from Cuba." I mean, this is not typical.
no.
So you called, and one thing I asked you during our calisthenics was what did your dad say? Because I heard you say, "Wait till your dad finds out."
I never heard a retort from him.
Really?
One way or the other.
He knew you were going to be a Marine, and he knew what a Marine could do.
But you know, I went home on leave one time, and there was a great big Marine Corps flag in the window.
Wow. Wow. I'm just trying to think, and it's just like, I just can't get over was, you chose probably the highest form, in my mind, in military. Maybe there weren't Navy SEALs back in those days. I don't know, but Marine is kind of like that, like the top of the top, cream of the crop.
Yeah.
You know. Then there's Navy, and then there's soldier, but then there's the Salvation Army and all that kind of stuff. It's not like you said, I want to be a Salvation Army person. You wanted to be a Marine.
Well, when I went in, they turned me down because I only weighed 107. So when the sailor, we didn't have a recruiting office. So the sailor put my application, I pulled it and I said, I want to be a Marine. And he says, I'll tell you what you do. You go out in San Francisco and you eat everything sweet you can get your hands on and come back on Monday and be sure and see me. This was a Friday. So I went out and...
Keep on going. I'm sorry. I'm enjoying this way too much.
I went out and I ate everything, and I'm telling you, by the time the Monday came, if you'd have given me anything sweet, I'd have
Well, it's just kind of like, for some reason I have the contagion of details. When I think of San Francisco, there's, what is it, Ghirardelli Square, where did you have like 4 sundaes with extra nuts, whipped cream, 4 cherries on top? I mean,
I went in twice.
Twice. Okay, and then I also think of like a sourdough bread. Did you eat like 3 loaves of this bread?
Oh no, I ate sweets.
Sweets?
Ice cream and candy.
Nobody told you that possibly eating a rock might be able to do that, It's because I'm thinking, I was see funny visions as you eating like 12 dozen Dungeness crabs on Fisherman Wharf.
No. But I gained 2 pounds.
2 pounds?
109, and he took me. That's how I got in.
That is an interesting story. I mean, a whole week, was there stress and pressure? Like, oh my gosh, I got to eat 4 sundaes. How are you feeling at this point?
I don't think I ate food. I just ate sweets.
So you were happy, right?
Oh yes, definitely.
It's just like I'm thinking like the opposite. No, we have laughter we have several people in the audience, so there's some laughter with all that. But I was just keep on thinking that somebody goes, son, you need to lose 50 pounds by Monday, so you can't eat nothing. Oh God, I don't know if I can do that in that. You were actually told the opposite, right?
Yeah.
Did you go, oh, yippee?
No, I just went out, and on my way home, I stopped and had something.
This is great. Yeah. So you're a Marine. First day you show up. They don't make you shave your hair like the other people do.
But we rolled our hair up. We didn't bun it like they do now.
Okay.
We rolled our hair up.
So I don't know that technique. So.
And I had a bobby pin that I put in here with this one, so it wouldn't fall down.
Wow. I'm just interested because we don't have visuals, obviously. You just have to tell me. So you get there the first day. Does somebody, are they treating you like a Marine, or do you feel them just holding back just a little bit, or are they giving you full bore?
Well, we had Marine officers that were training us, and our DI, he gave us a command, and we fell over each other, in the line the first day.
DI stands for?
Drill instructor.
Okay.
And so he turned around, and he went like this, and he turned around, and he says, I don't know what I did to have this type of a command forced on me.
And that being an empowered woman, were you the only female, or were there some other female?
No. All of our instructors were males.
Right.
They were all males.
But you were the only female then.
Oh no! It was a
I got this all wrong.
Women.
Get out of here! Really?
It was a platoon of women.
I can't handle this emotionally.
And
wow!
It was the first platoon, and it was mostly all girls from San Francisco, and we picked up 3 in Denver, and there was companies after companies. I think 8 companies of WRs went to Hunter College, and then Camp Lejeune opened up, and I was sent to recruiting. That was my first job in Washington, D.C. So I wore the big old MP badge here. And took recruits.
Military police, is that what that stands for?
That's what it stands
for. Got my acronym straight here.
Yeah, and so I would take recruits on this old Seaboard Railroad, or whatever they called it, and to Camp Lejeune.
Right.
That opened up, and then after a while, they went to PI. And my other daughter she's a Marine also, and she went to PI. You know what PI stands for?
PI, I thought was I guess I don't.
Paris Island.
Paris Island.
Yeah, that's the big training.
Was it brutal, or was it what you?
Oh no, all we did was mostly, we didn't do this physically.
Now you did a lot of recruiting, and for how long was that?
That was a year, and I became tired of dressing up every day. I wanted to go out online, so they sent me to Mojave Air Base. You know where that is?
I've been through there real quickly in a dream, but yes, I've been there.
Okay, where I taught fighter pilots gun air. and that is to shoot down your enemy.
Really?
Yes.
Did they train you for this, or I mean, talk to me more about this?
Yeah. And it was in a Quonset hut, and I sat down here, and the pilot was up here. There was a screen which I controlled, and this little plane flew on it, and he was to shoot it down.
Really? And you were getting coaching and counseling?
Yes. And when he shot it down, I'd take it away from him, and I'd start it over again.
Now, see, when you say Mojave, I think that's the world's largest parking lot for unused.
Yes.
So I don't know what it was during that time frame.
Yeah.
But when you think of Mojave, it's not like, let's have a great time and go out to Mojave, you know?
Yeah.
So did you start enjoying this job more itself?
I did. And, you know, that they had a trainer that they had a long time, and it was a little SNJ, the Gull Wing F4U is what it was. And it had 2 seats, and they'd had to throw a sandbag in the back to level it out. So they'd call me, and I'd go be the sandbag.
The sandbag.
And I'd fly.
Hope nobody called you the sandbagger, but anyway, keep on going.
And so they would call me, and I'd go out to the flight line and get in, and they'd take off, and we'd just go over the desert, and he'd log his time.
Then did you make a lot of friends? Friends in that time frame? People who you train with?
Oh yeah.
Because there's not a whole lot to do in Mojave, and I'm sure I'm going to get a call from the Chamber of Commerce in Mojave saying, "How dare you make light of our city?" But
no, at that time there was a hotel, a restaurant, and a service station.
I bet you were the hub of activity
and
too.
It's a train place where they change cars and everything. I forget what you call.
Hub?
No.
That's a good try.
Anyway, that's what Mojave was.
A hub, or whatever you called it.
Well, they transferred the cars, and what is it?
I don't know, but I'm just trying to think.
Epicenter?
Huh?
Epicenter?
Everybody take a shot at it. You know, it's so funny because when you see up-to-date movies, sci-fi movies, there's all these space equipments, and it's a simulation. In fact, when you look at the movie Top Gun, if you've seen that one, it's a very attractive female training, very high egotistical males. And I go, well, you gotta say, well, that's a fantasy, but you were actually living that movie where you were a female training people how to shoot down $1 million heavy tonnage equipment in the air. Yeah. So you're like a walking fantasy. I mean, I love this. This is really neat.
Well, good.
So how long did you do that for?
I went there in March of '44, and I was discharged in May of '45 because the war was dying down. They didn't need us anymore.
All right. So now calculate how long is that? About a year or less than a year? So, but that was enough where it wasn't you got tired of the job.
Oh no.
And so after that, go ahead.
And I got to wear the field gear.
You must. I just wish we had photos. We would be able to do the fade in, fade out type of thing. But that had to be an incredible experience. So that was done. You said you got discharged. What does a female Marine do after all that experience? Like the first day or first week or first part of that? I mean.
Well, I went back to San Francisco. Oh, I married my dream Marine while I was
Your dream Marine?
My dream Marine, their father.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And what was he besides a dream?
He was a tech sergeant.
A tech sergeant?
And I told him I was going to take a test for tech. He says, you do, I'll divorce you.
Really? So is this like in the movies where he just carries you out, you know, and he go back on a motorcycle and you go right over into the sunset? No? Okay.
I don't think so.
All right. I'm in a different world right now. So you got married. I know you have 2 beautiful daughters, you know, and now you're this poster woman, I want to say, and you're having a hard time believing that, but I saw you at a veterans. And you look like you know what you're doing, like you've done this before. Do you actually now speak to groups?
I used to do that all the time.
Okay.
First time, when I was in Washington recruiting, they had a little radio spot.
Right.
And I went in there for the first time, and I thought I was going to die. This microphone in front of me, and It was just overwhelming.
More overwhelming than shooting down planes in a
And
simulation.
you know what I said? I said something, I can't remember right now, but when
It's all right.
I thought, oh my word. When I got back, returned to the office, the captain,
Yeah, scary.
yeah, and he laughed and I laughed, so that was all.
That was a good sign.
Yeah.
No, that is so neat, and I hope you do continue to speak and talk. And I got this crazy idea for a reality show, Tippy's Television. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But thank you so much for coming and sharing those stories.
Very welcome.
Tippy, I know I can go on, but we're gonna run out of memory, I'm sure, on this one. But thank you so much. Thank you for being such a role model to so many people.
Well, thank you.
And I enjoyed just even some of your daughter's stories during the warm up, and I hope she continues to be hearing the stories. Since I have stories I've made up in my head, so let's match the reality as to what they were. A dark night in Mojave Desert. No, just kidding. Just kidding. But anyway, with that, Tippy, whoa, got hit by a Marine. Officer down. Boom. But anyway, this is Peter Godinez. We are having way too good a time here. Your ambassador with KDTV with our first pilot, which I'm sure you'll enjoy, called Meet the Veteran. Until next time.